Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack, and I am Jack Talcott. Back to a little higher energy than I found myself yesterday. Today, today's a new day. My faith in God, my faith in love, my faith in life, it's pretty strong. So thank you all for joining me, whoever you may be at whichever time, whether it's now live with the live stream, whichever platform, or if you find me later, thank you. Thank you for joining. This, today the topic, peace in the storm. I was inspired with all sorts of thoughts and ideas on this today, but it's something I hope that you can walk away with. Well, my hope is that you will walk away with something today, but it really is. It's just logic and reasoning. Choose diplomacy, not destruction. Give peace a chance. Spread love, not hate. War kills. Peace heals. And we'll jump right into the thumbnail. Get this done. Having some fun today too, and blessings to those who are included. My thoughts on this. We're here, right? The purpose of me, I'm pretty public about this. It's not a secret. It is my desire that a world without government secrets would end wars. Let's join together. Join us to end wars and government secrets. That is the goal. No hiding it. So make love, not war. Find peace in the storm. How do you find peace in the storm? The world is kind of a storm. There's a lot of dark clouds out there in the news and the media, and especially through history. There's dark clouds hanging over humanity. So here, the brightness, the light that we carry is love. Love brings unity, connection, peace, strength, life. Love and life. Life and love. There's a reason we get those things. What about war? War grows destruction. It grows division, fear, anger, and death. What do you want to bring to the world? What do you want to bring to the world? For a lot of my life, I didn't know what I wanted to bring. I was more worried about what the world was bringing to me. I was kind of backwards and confused for much of my life. And then I realized, hey, that's the world we live in. We live in a backwards and confused world, and the path to freedom. The path to freedom is to escape your ego. That which wants to control. See, and I've mentioned this on prior streams, the externalization of our ego has created structures of governments and economics. Everyone uses budgets and rules and regulations to limit themselves and each other. The path to freedom, it's truly simple. We must simply accept that which is true. And I haven't been looking close at the chat, but there's a couple names there already. And I'll go ahead and open up. I'll drop the link. And for those who are available and wish to join to discuss, the ideas of peace in the storm and love versus war, please feel free. I don't know. I mean, when I click go live, I have an idea in the back of my head about how long and what I want to share. But the more I've been looking at myself and results, lack of results, whatever, looking at the information, I'm actually leaning towards the idea. I think it may be appropriate to do shorter streams. Snafu, you're still not welcome here, so go ahead and take a hike. You're not going to come up. Any others who wish to join? um, I don't need the chaos of egoic foolishness. And frankly, I'm tired of entertaining people who don't take life seriously. See, this was one of my thoughts earlier today, is that I actually, these days, I actually take, Snafu, what are you doing, man? I actually take the wars and the situation of the world pretty seriously. I was thinking about this earlier, my past experiences, how many times my life has brought me to just messes, right? Whether it's work, farm work, yard work, messes in the organization. I found myself into these places where I was like, what in the hell is going on? The point is, I've had a lot of experience in my life of realizing, all right, well, I guess this is what it is. There's no point complaining about it. Let's do something. Let's get it done. We see a problem. We know it needs to be addressed. We know we've got work to do. Let's do it. Brothers and sisters, there is a problem going on in this world. People have been in denial. People have been enabling their shadows, their darkness, and we've got a world full of God's children. We've got a world full of very, very, very confused people who do not know what is real. They don't know what is true because they've been living a lie. They've been playing along. They've been following someone else's rules. And I didn't prepare to share this, but I watched I watched a great short video right before starting this, which is actually leaning me towards maybe I should do short videos. Maybe I should shut the panels down. I mean, maybe I should just turn into video creation, trying to figure that out. What he was talking about on Thoughts on Thinking, that was the channel I was watching. He was talking about some beautiful descriptions of what the shadow is. And the shadow is that which brings our storms. The shadow within us, the darkness, the judgment, the insecurities, the jealousy, the competition and war, the patterns of the beast. They're within us all. And if you don't know who you are, well, the shadow is going to dominate. That's what's happening at the greater picture in the American government. The American government doesn't know. The people in charge, I am confident they don't know what they're doing. I mean, I face all these opinions. Oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They're evil. Okay, well, let's talk to them first and let's find out. Because I've talked to a lot of people that don't know what they're saying, don't know what they're doing. It's the egoic self. It's the shadow. It drives us insane. What Thoughts on Thinking was pointing out, I'll pull the link up in a bit, maybe. The shadow that's incorporated us. And when I'm saying shadow, it's I'm referring to the concept described by Carl Jung, the shadow archetypes within our personalities that develop. We develop these shadows. It's not just the dark side, it's the stuff we're afraid of. It's the stuff we won't allow ourselves to do, whether it's speaking up, whether it's uh, singing, whether it's just, I mean, I've heard so many different examples of children receiving different ideas being their lights being dimmed when they're young. And then what we do as people to try and fit in, to try and be safe, to try and be comfortable with others where we're at, we follow the rules of others. It's just the way the world works. Hey, you know what? Thank you. I've been trying to figure out what to do. My hope was if I know that everything can change in a day. The whole world changes every day, and I know my life can change in a day. Anyone who wants to change their life, join me. Let's change some lives in this world. Let's see what we can get done. It seems where I'm at, the people I've encountered, and I'm not blaming, I'm just describing, okay? It's my life. There's greater forces involved. I know this. I'm confident of this. There's greater forces involved in everything that we do, and so I've learned how to trust and accept my path. It's not always easy. I mean, life isn't easy, but there's simple rules to follow. Very, very simple. Never, ever lie. Never. Never lie. See, we can serve the God of truth, that which makes this reality real for us, where we get to be and live. That creator reveals the truth. The truth is within us. There's no separation from the creator in you. There's no separation from the essence, the spirit, the strength, power of Christ. There's no separation from that and you, except what you believe. That's what I've convinced myself. And actually, I saw Machine Lies down there. He'd probably know about this better than me, but looking at history, there's patterns that repeat, even in the evolution of religions. I continue learning as much as I can every day, and I encourage all of you, try to learn as much as you can. That's why we're here. Wisdom, intelligence. I was watching some history on evolution, early religions. I'll just leave it at that. Zoroastrianism and connections, some possible connections between that, Hinduism, the Abrahamic faiths. It's all tied together. What it comes down to is our God is one. There is one God. You're a part of it. It's the universe. Our God is beyond the universe, but it's that which allows the universe to be, and there is no separation from the universe and the creator, and we are a part of this. We are aspects of consciousness and life here on earth. It's a divine gift of life that's been bestowed upon mankind for us to experience this day, right here and now. And around this world, there's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of storms. There's a lot of wars, pain. Life is happening all around. What matters in every moment is how we respond, what we do, how we react. What are we doing? How are we being? That's the key. America, and at least the world I grew up in, everyone's so focused on what everyone's doing. How are they being? Well, we can be at war, unrest, resisting, in denial, in opposition, unease. We can be however we want. The opposite to all those is be love. Be love. That's it. Be love in your life. Be the love for you and everyone else, wherever you go. I mean, for those who follow the Christian faith, hello. The Savior's words were love. Love one another. That's God's message for us all. We are living at such a time right now. There is a shift, there's a happening. I believe the day could happen any day now. I truly do. I truly believe that, well, God's plans are being continuously revealed for us all to discover. Doggone, I should have shared some of these videos. Because I watched another about, well, I mentioned him before, Rupert Sheldrake. He's one of my favorites. The way his mind works is brilliant. And he points, he's done a lot of studies in the mind. And it's not just the material brain, it's the activity, it's the energies of the mind, the focus. If you go back and you look at, I mean, if you kind of step back from the world and what you know about it and see it from a bigger picture, the combination of intelligence that we've been given, the ability to learn, to discern, remember, imagine, reason, right? We've got this amazing intelligence within us. And we've got an incredibly dynamic and powerful universe. So between the combination of intelligence with the patterns of the universe and the world, those two things perfectly align us for a lifetime of discovery and study. Not just one lifetime, but perhaps an infinite number of lifetimes could be lived for the purposes of discovery and learning. And each of us in our lifetimes, we're limited by how much we can learn, how much we can discover. So the best way I found to discover more of this world that we live in, to discover and learn more about this world we live in, that we share, listen. I ask questions. I pay attention. I also realized my life is too short to learn all the details about everything. But it does not stop me from learning the details, filling in all the gaps so I can get a better understanding of the big picture. And I think I've got a pretty good understanding of the big picture. Brothers and sisters, the big picture is, well, there's many variables in there. You could describe that in many different ways that are accurate, but the big picture is God. God is doing it all. God is allowing it all. How about that? God is allowing it all, revealing it all, guiding it all. I mean, all results come from the variables and the laws of the universe. We see results, but there's so many variables included in everything. We can only do our best to try and create the results we want. The result I want, and back to my past of recognizing, all right, Jack, here's another mess. What are you going to do? This mess was brought into your life. You don't get to run from it. You don't get to avoid it. You know it's there. Hello. The mess I see these days is the current state of the American government, the current state of the economic system in this world. It's corrupted. Are we men and women, children of God, or are we subservient slaves for someone else's tool, money? I had the idea to pull some money out, but I don't know if I have any money handy. We are here. We've been given everything we need in this life to share together. We don't need to spend our days and nights worrying and stressing each other out, accusing and attacking. Maybe that's just my life. Brothers and sisters, I have faith. I encourage you, grow in your faith. Despite the storm, maybe you're facing a storm in your own life. Maybe the relationships, the financial situation, maybe the housing, whatever, the health. Maybe they're all looking a little scary, or parts of them. Besides the health, I can relate. But regardless what life brings you, if you can just simply use the power of your intelligence, and remember this, please, you have the power to control yourself, to calm yourself, to give yourself permission to be at peace, to give yourself permission to overcome the things you were afraid of in the past. It comes back to the shadow part, where the shadow, we repress and we deny aspects of ourselves, saying, I can't do that. That's not me. I'm afraid of that. They won't like this. You ever get those voices in your head, the doubts, the insecurities? Those are yours. Don't let them control you. See, what I learned for myself and what I've been learning through others is this shadow work, the inner work, going within you to heal you. Please, that's what the world needs right now. The world needs authentic, righteous, loving, kind, talented men and women. And that's you. That's all of us. We are all authentic, kind, loving, talented. When we don't find our excuses, when we don't find our blame. See, in the past, I made these mistakes, and please, my testimony, I share my mistakes. I share my shame, my lessons. I share my experience because it's a testimony, and all of us have a testimony. And if you can pick up some lessons from me, praise God. It makes my journey worth it. In the past, I didn't realize I was doing it until I stopped doing it. But in hindsight, I developed patterns of excuses and blame. That's why I keep pointing them out and seeing them. Maybe I know how damaging they are. Excuses and blame, those are illusions. They deny us from accepting responsibility. They deny us the opportunity to grow. And I see so many people finding excuses to disbelieve and doubt what I'm saying are my real life goals. I don't allow my own excuses and my own blame. Actually, I don't find blame anymore. I do try to find the facts, because the facts reveal the truth, and the truth will evaluate responsibility. We're all responsible for what we do. Every one of us is responsible for what we say, how we treat each other. You're one of the more confused people I've met, Browns boy. I mean, I've met a lot of people that have been brought into my path, and I've tried communicating with you. You don't allow it. That's what that's what many I'm finding. It's this is the life we live. Every one of us, we have the opportunity to choose. We can choose to jump to conclusions. We can choose to assume. We can assume, jump to conclusions. We can think we know everything. Go ahead, do what you want. When you assume, when you jump to conclusions, particularly about another person, guess what you're doing? You're showing your denial. I love how many people for whatever reason, seem to join my chat for no purpose other than to disagree with me. Praise God. You're missing out. You're missing out on the opportunity to understand someone like me. And I'm telling you, I'm not bragging. By God's grace, I have been blessed to learn much. Now, if I don't explain it clearly enough, please let me know. Help me to explain it better. But if you just want to, just show your arrogance all around, your egoic foolishness, that's what you're doing. The ego is a fool. Just like, well, praise God. I won't say it that way. I was going to say Satan is a fool. Lucifer is a fool for believing it can overpower or replace God, right? The ego fools. Hey, Browns boy, I've had enough of you. You're a waste of my attention. Goodbye, Browns boy. See, juvenile children, just absolutely no clear intentions, no clear purpose, just nonsense in exchange for, well, I know what value I'm offering. I'm offering you the path I found to change my own life. I'm offering you my support to help you change your own life. Yesterday, the stream, like I said, I got up yesterday and my faith was challenged. I struggled a bit. I struggled a bit yesterday. Today, the reminders, though, God is doing it all. I awoke this morning too. I've been having a recurring, I don't know if it's a dream, but it's like upon awakening, I have these recurring thoughts going through my head. And again, I don't know if it's a remnant of a dream, but it's reasoning and it's explanations, and it's be like Jesus. Receive that which God offers forth and share love. That's the reminder I keep getting every day is be love and have faith. I look forward to where this dream of life brings us because, brothers and sisters, I do believe, I have faith. The day of truth is upon us. It is time for people to repent, change their ways, start really doing some self-evaluation, start really doing some inner reflection, because when the truth is revealed, well, When the truth is no longer denied, how about that? Let's take it out of God's hands and let's bring it into our free will, our choices. Let's, as men and women today, let's accept responsibility for this world we share. When the world stops denying the truth, we'll be free. I'm speaking to you. You are the world. Freedom comes through acceptance of that which is real. That which is real, it comes from and through God's love. God so loved the world. He created the world and the universe and all the life upon it. And God so loved the world, he gave us the instructions. All we've got to do is accept it. Stop trying to overthink it. Stop trying to prove it wrong. Accept the truth. And here's something I realized. I see a lot of people with a lot of wisdom in their mind. They got a lot of knowledge in their memory, but they're living in their minds. And when you get trapped out in your mind, you get angry because you're trapped. You don't even know it. There's people running around that are literally insane, and this world thinks it's normal. Hey, here is a man I admire and wisdom abundant. Welcome, Machine Lies. You have something scheduled soon, though, don't you? Something other?
Well, tomorrow we will be restreaming or multi-streaming the show. It'll be a conclusion of a series I'm doing, Antichrist Burnout, because I was called the Antichrist Burnout. so,
Oh,
so I'm using it as an opportunity to explain Nietzsche's Antichrist. Nietzsche wrote a book called Antichrist.
okay.
He has some novel theories in that book. So I'll be concluding my assessments of that work tomorrow on the platform The Missing Link. So yeah.
Okay. The missing link, I thought that was today. So it's tomorrow, though, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
What you're
Yeah.
saying? Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
tomorrow at the
correction.
time of my regular Wednesday show. But we'll
Got
just be multi-streaming it to many platforms and continuing the type of discussion that I'm having on my show, which is a look into modern philosophy. So it is, and the kind of bridge to postmodern philosophy. Because there's also something called postmodern philosophy, and also post-human. Post-human is a theme within um, uh, um, what do you call it? Cyberpunk. It's a subgenre of science fiction invented by different authors, but mainly the work of William Gibson. He came up with this idea post-human, and it's really quite an interesting idea. I saw you mention Jung earlier, Brother Talcott, and it's kind of
it.
the same concept where Jung had these post-temporal sort of realms, if you will, that invite all sorts of ideas like synchronicities. So time doesn't move within a straight line. We've discussed this earlier, and then he also had a post-spatial understanding in terms of what do you call them, archetypes, where ideas or memories could possess, a tendency that's way beyond their spatial or temporal, discovery, I guess, point of discovery. I think Rupert Sheldrake had a similar idea in terms of morphogenetic fields, that memory and space could be interconnected.
I'm in line with that. some of the ideas I've attached myself to is the idea of a conscious plasma universe. So energy actually may have a consciousness already built within it. And because there is an intelligence in the design of everything, and then there's an intelligence that everything that's created, it does follow patterns. They're not always perfect patterns, but there are patterns to what is created. It's like I view that as an intelligence. The way you know what? We live in this realm perfectly designed for study, discovery, and learning. There is so much to learn, so much to discover, and there's so much that has been discovered. Oh, speaking of, you familiar with Göbekli Tepe, the archaeological discovery? Most people have heard of it. I saw something recently, though, where they stopped the study. They built shelter and these walkways around it, but the World Economic Forum got involved, and these wealthy billionaires. And now, as I understand, this happened within the last few years. Maybe it was 2017 or 16, but they said they're leaving the rest of it for future generations. That's one of the most interesting archaeological discoveries that I've learned of, and some of the things that are there. Brother, where we live in a world where money has been given power over wisdom. For the betterment of mankind, I don't want to say needs to, but we have the opportunity for the betterment of mankind to unite together, to bring forth some people, some spokesmen, some sort of ideas, and let's confront the powers that be. That's truly what I want to do. Hey, I took us way off, didn't I? You were talking about the morphogenetic field, the idea that mind may be outside of our brain. Mind may be I think we are all mind. This is the conclusion. I don't know how to properly explain it, but I do view, from what I've understood about the Planck length, Planck distance, the most small measurement that they've identified, like this space-time fabric, as I understand, where everything comes through it. Well, if you consider that we exist within, while it's physical to us, it feels and is real to us, it may actually just be like a mist of energy and intelligence, and we perceive all of the intelligence. If life is a dream, let's start waking people up, because people have fallen asleep and they live in these subconscious patterns. They're like NPCs. They're not even controlling themselves. They're just being controlled by the people around them, the things they're told, the things they remember. I don't know. Hey, we got another guest here, brother. Another friend of the show for sure. Welcome, Hank. How you doing, brother?
I'm telling you, a friend of both of your shows, and it's actually
yeah. It's funny
great.
that it's funny that Hank should show up at this juncture because me and Hank have talked about this concept many times, the idea of mind permeating reality,
Yes.
so
I'm an
yeah, we have
idealist,
into
so
yeah.
I think mine's the substrate. Then matter's made on top of that.
Yes. That actually confirms something I saw from someone else recently. Consciousness, how did they show it? When we go from the appearance level, the exterior form level, and then we start going um, into the cells and molecules, the atoms, and you keep going further and further into the minuscule, eventually it comes into unity. We all come from the same source, everything. And so warring, fighting, trying to control each other, we're here to bring the change. We're here to bring peace. I truly believe. But what I've come to trust within that unity and the one connection, there's forces beyond us that are doing it all. So it's not like we just get to sit back and relax for the life and have everything happen. We get to participate in life. I used to tell myself I have to. I had to do a lot of things. Brothers and sisters, if you're talking to yourself like that, you have to. You don't. We get to. We get to decide what we do, what we say, where we go, how we do it. But for everything we do, there are consequences. There's a result that happens from doing. And we couldn't do anything, though, if we didn't first get to be. So if we're going to get to be here and alive today on Earth together, and science shows we're all united. Science shows that we're all connected in many, many, many different ways. How can we grow in these connections? What do you guys think? What can we do from here?
Oh, we
Well,
can do what we're going to do anyways.
yeah, that's one way of going about it. I think in a world of activity and chaos, the most powerful person is the one who doesn't do anything. Because the silence is a response. For example, anti-totalitarianism is totalitarianism. If you wanted to form an ideal for anti-cult, you would create a cult, essentially. So all of these negative forms happen to be positive on another end, just in the sense that activity is the greater part of consciousness, and within that, the will is so significant. Our will is really where our ideas and the activity that make up that are two parts of consciousness actually come together. And willpower is actually what guides, in terms of activity guides thoughts more than thoughts actually, trying to change our feelings and our outlook, because thoughts are made of perceptions, and activity is much more tangible, and the thing about it is that the matter itself is sandwiched in between two things. Matter and form are really part of something greater, which is ideas and functionality. Matter needs function, and form needs the ideas behind the form, to actually manifest itself. So I think that mind is always going to be greater than matter, in that sense. You know what I mean, right? You know,
That's how it's designed for sure. However, in this world of materialism, people have voluntarily given power to matter over mind. You know, I'm going to spend more time on that one, brother, because there's a perfection to this creation that cannot be overlooked. Seriously. The power of mind, the power of word, language, because language brings us, it allows us to expand the thoughts we can receive, the thoughts we carry. It allows us to expand that. But what I've been finding is, well, and it's not just me, all truth comes from within. It's a resonance within us.
Yes, Jack Talcott realized what truth possessive feeling had a double meaning. He figured out the second meaning of it.
The second meaning of it?
Yes. Yeah, truth does come from within. That's factual. But here's the thing. People confuse truth with facts and believe what the truth from within is the same thing as the facts from without, and that's not factual.
Yes. Well, facts point us to the truth.
Yes, if you pay attention to them. But if you ignore the facts, you'll be blinded by the truth, and then you're not making any sense to anyone.
That is what happens. Well, actually, I think the blindness happens it's a mental blindness when we convince ourselves we know, or we presume, make assumptions or conclusions. We have the power to close our mind or open our heart. To open the mind, the heart must be open. To open the heart, I think the mind must be still. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know. We have an option in the back here. Mr. Brown's boy has chosen to click the link. I have not enjoyed his time when he joins my panel. He brings me no joy whatsoever. So
It's usually nice when he's around the machine Liza and I at the same time. So,
all right.
that's right. That's right.
Welcome, Lanza. The idea, peace in the storm. There is a storm happening right here on Earth right now. A lot of people got storms in their heart. They got thunderstorms and chaos and all sorts of nightmares going on in their minds. And this world, the world is nuts. It's literally insane because people are in denial about what is true. What is true from my perspective? Our government, meaning, and I'm speaking as someone who lives in the land of America, they can stop paying for wars. Wars can end. It's an option. It really is an option. Fights can end. When we have fights with our friends, our neighbors, people at work, people online, when we have fights, they can end. All we've got to do is be willing to understand. I'm willing to understand pretty much anyone. I'm willing to at least try to understand pretty much anyone. I found that's the only way to live, guys. Sincerely, we have the option to live with peace, peace in the storm. We get the option to live with understanding, with the knowing that love is the answer. Even though the solution, the problem may be clear and the answer may be hidden immediately, in the short term, if we keep our mind focused with the idea that, well, I find a lot more peace when I trust that God is in my life. So if I can trust that God is in my life, I evaluate myself. What are my intentions? Are my intentions pure, or am I selfish? I I I avoid selfishness because it doesn't feel good. I like to give. I like to be generous. I like to know that I tried. I like to know that I made a difference. I think all of us like that. That's built within us. And so here's the key. The key I found for myself to overcome the darkness, the shadows, the insecurities. Play a game with yourself. Figure out your fears. Figure out how you can face your fears. Figure out how you can push into your fears with wisdom, right? Oh, blessings. Wisdom, intelligence in action, right? Intelligence through action and in action is where wisdom comes from. That's what we're here to do. A mature person uses their wisdom, not their force. Jesus was wise. We've had many, many wise prophets, many, many wise messengers throughout human history. They're worthy of some attention. But then again, we've got many amazing teachers and messengers alive today. This is what gives me hope. Brothers and sisters, the world of the past, it's time for it to change. It's time for humanity to evolve, to mature, to become the mature children of God instead of the juvenile fools who just want to make fun of each other and make each other's lives harder for each other and push each other down. That's the warring fallen angel mentality, man. We don't have to play those games. I don't know. Let me yield, please. Thoughts? Feel free to take us wherever you want.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. One of the things you said struck out to me in terms of you said that you have to still the mind to open the heart. And I think that that is fundamentally a true concept in terms of that when the heart is racing, the mind is restless, so there is that truth that our emotions guiding our thoughts is not a very good formula, and we do have the understanding in which intentions can be hard to manage. One of the um great thinkers who wrote a book called Al Hikam, the Wisdom. This thinker called Ibn Atta Allah said that God, please free me of my intentions, because the will that is free from intentions is not wavering, in terms of being a vessel for what has to be done. So a lot of times when we second guess ourselves, that's when indecision allows, I guess, different perversions to leak in. I mean, indecision is usually where the devil is. You know, the devil is in the details, as they say. You know, and I guess on top of that whole thing, you also mentioned about force. You know, force being a sort of something that causes us to lose control. And it's true, because power is not the same thing as control. You know, the more force is in power, the less control there is really, you know, able to manifest. So as we wield greater amounts of power, we need greater amounts of control, really. You know, control is really where freedom is. You know, it's in the managing of the present circumstances and how we move with it. It's not in rejection of those. You know, that can't be freedom. You know, that's just, as I said earlier, that's just another affirmation of the you know, of the opposite. You know what I mean? Right.
Brother, that power and control. My mind went to God, the ultimate power, the ultimate control. We have control of ourselves and we have influence on everything else. Actually, maybe we just influence ourselves too. I don't know. Do we actually control ourselves? Or do we just influence ourselves?
I've heard with nutrition, you program your body. So like if you switch your diet up a lot, like it'll actually make you sick. Sometimes, you know, if it's not done right.
Yeah. Hey, we've got another guest here.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome, Noelle.
And
Hey,
then
Noelle.
hi.
Welcome. Oops, what's going on there?
Sorry.
Thank you. I lost where we were. Something about the diet.
Yeah. I guess Brown's boy was talking about reprogramming yourself. You know, I do think that that is a significant thing. I think that you know, like I noticed, like my little brother, like he went to go hang out with a bunch of his little cousins and stuff. When he came back, he was listening to all this like whack music, and I was like, why are you listening to this trash? You know, and it's almost like your brain gets reprogrammed to like nonsense. If you've been around nonsense, it's like you just consume trash, and pretty soon, like, that's what you watch and listen to. You know, but it's like you know, if you know, if all you have is like jazz music all day, then that's what you that's what you'll gravitate towards. You know, like it'll be like jazz and you know, you know, complex electronic music or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
which
more
is what I
conducive.
listen to all day. Jazz,
Right.
complex electronic music, video game music, which is and rock and roll, which is in video games. So that's what I listen to most of the time. And what I feed on is just I like Mexican, Indian, sometimes American food, and I snack on peanuts. I don't even snack on potato chips anymore.
Dude, not to go way off, but peanuts, they're like my favorite. I'm so grateful I didn't have a peanut allergy in my life because I eat the shit out of peanut butter and peanuts. That is my go-to snack most of the time. That's funny. See, Hank, we are so similar in so many different ways, my brother. There's a reason.
Yep.
Noelle, are you talking to us? You're muted if you are. Okay. All right. No worries. But this, guys, take it for what it is. If you can plant those seeds in your own mind, there's a reason There's a reason we're here. There's a reason we gathered. There's a reason I've met you and you've met me. I believe in that. I pay close attention to my days now, and I'm always wondering, why do I see this? And not just people, but driving down the road. Why did that catch my attention? What am I noticing here? I pay attention to what I'm paying attention to, and I'm always wondering, what does God want me to do? It's a question I ask often. And the answer I keep getting, I don't get answers from God. I don't know about anyone else. I interpret the signs and I interpret my feelings, but the answers I get when I ask God, what am I supposed to do? Be you. So if I'm supposed to be me, then what? Well, then I asked my heart, Jack, what would you love to do? What does your heart want you to do? Because the heart knows. This is where I danced around this a little bit. It's real easy for us to carry a lot of memory, a lot of knowledge in our minds. That's not where we want to carry it. It's already in our hearts. The knowing of what we've experienced, it's already within us. We don't need to fill our mind with memories and opinions, because memories and opinions, that's from the past. And we're here to learn, discover, study, influence, participate in life. Life is short. No, it's not. Life is eternal. Our experiences are short. Moments pass, good and bad. It comes through our lives. It disappears. It goes away. Good and bad. It's all temporary. That's what I realized. Enjoy the joy while it's there. Enjoy the challenge. Enjoy the pain while it's there. It's part of life. Life is an experience meant to be lived, not just survived. Matter of fact, we're not surviving life, right? Patterns of history continue. We're all going to die someday. As far as I know, there's only one who made it beyond death. Maybe there was others, but if the prophecy is true, the return of Jesus, the return of the King of Man, we would not have wars. We wouldn't have government and corporate secrets. The truth would be readily available. It would be freely shared. We wouldn't enable each other's lies. We wouldn't enable each other's hate. And we sure wouldn't enable each other's fears or run around trying to put people in fear. I know that's what people are doing with me. They're trying to get me angry with their accusations and slander. And in the past, I used to get angry because I was afraid that it would lead to my failure. I was afraid that the lies and rumors about me would destroy my life. God created the life. The rumors and lies, they just spread confusion about me. But brothers and sisters, one day soon, there is a day coming. I know it. I don't know when and I don't know how, but there will be a day where I have a witness. I've got someone here in Spokane with me, and they're going to be saying, yeah, we're taking off. We're doing this. And then maybe I won't be on here 7 days a week. But eventually, the people who have been lying about me and avoiding me, eventually they'll come to the truth. And I trust in that. I believe that's what God is waiting for. God is waiting for us to come to the truth, all of us. And this is where I don't want to come across as a Bible thumper, right? Because that's not what I'm about. I am all about God. I am all about the truth. For me, I've said this clear. Truth is my God. I worship the truth. I honor the truth. I seek to align myself with the truth. I seek to grow in the truth, and I seek to share in the truth. And there's a lot of truthful wisdom contained in the words in the scriptures, particularly about repentance. The kingdom of God is here and now. We are within it. Do we want to accept it? Or do we want to continue to believe that this is Satan's realm, the government's realm, the wealthy's realm? I believe this is God's realm. And we're here to, I believe we are here for love, for God's love, the universal love that expresses life that we know. If we align with life, which is what we are, so why would we not align with what we are? But if we align with life, love is our natural state. And that tells me, well, and I didn't believe it for most of my life. I did not trust that there was a God who loves us. Because look at the world. The world looks like God doesn't love us. God is punishing. That's what the Bible talked about. You know, the storm god and the god of war and sacrifice, punishment. We were shown different. We were told different by many, many spiritual masters. Love. Be here for God's love. Get to know love. It's the power for us all. And if we start sharing love, we'll be honest with each other. We'll be more kind. We'll be more fearless because we'll have more people who love us. As we love more, others will love too. Love is, it compounds, it multiplies. But then so does fear too. Hey, I went on for a little bit. Please.
Yes. So if we keep hanging out with me and the machine lies, pretty much all your haters just start running scared because you'll pretty much appropriate our ores. I mean, Toilet Bowl Earth was saying he wanted to come and challenge the machine lies to a fight, and now he's persona non grata. He hasn't been saying anything for a while that I noticed.
Yeah, that is a true fact. He did kind of disappear after that. But the thing about it is without delving too much into the frivolous activities of the internet communities, I think you brought up some salient points, Brother Jack, in terms of the imagination, and also how truth comes from within. The only way that you could recognize truth outside of yourself is that if it agrees with yourself. If you have knowledge of what somebody is saying, then you say, well, that's true. Well, you're ascribing of authority to that person. It came from yourself. So you could only understand what you already know, in a sense. You can only agree with what you already know. So your discovery of it was not a unique fact. It's and this is how the imagination is sort of and the willpower is our angelic form, just as the ego is our sort of demonic form. And it goes to that sensibility that we need to master ourself by combining our will with our actions, instead of combining though our ego with our sort of emotions and what we want to know, because knowledge is a possession at the end of the day, but all sort of unveiling come out from what we can imagine, and we have to be saved from the imagination of the thoughts, which are just pure stasis. So our imagination has to be brought up into the activity of what we desire, and that comes by, as we said earlier, stilling our mind and opening our heart, being without judgment, freeing ourselves from premature judgments, in other words.
Brother, I love that. You said something stood out. Knowledge is a possession. That's yes. And here's the thing, the ego, the selfish part of us, it never wants to let go of possessions. It doesn't want to share. So possessions, material or ideas, they can start owning us. But that's kind of, I think maybe I took what you said and twisted it a little bit. But it's what you said. It's so true. It's like what we can only agree with what we already know, what we've already received and grown, and it's there with us. The world, I think, provides us the confirmations that we know, and I actually believe within us, the all-knowing, the all-knower is, there's aspects of the knower within us, and there somehow in this, I do believe this is like a dream. It's a simulation of life for the spirit to experience. and in this, everything has a perfect order to provide to us the confirmation for the knower. And maybe it's not the whole picture, it's not the whole truth, it's just a small little piece just to get us going, right?
Yeah, and that's why at the highest level, the knowing, the knowledge, and the knower are really one, just as in the highest sense of activity, the activity and the person that's acting are the same thing. We say a person is sweeping. That means a person a person who's exemplifying that activity perfectly is a person who embodies the activity itself. So in other words, it's all about manifesting what we know, and actually you can't ask why if you know what is wrong, just as much as we can't get into all types of knowledge. Knowledge is infinite. So at some point you're going to have to act on what you know, and the best way to do it is if that's continuous, that right when you find something out, you apply it right away. So there's a constant exchange between your knowledge and your activity.
I love that. And there's no separating the doer from the activity, the actor from the activity. I love that, how you said that. And this love is not a never ending fuzzy feeling, and is not something you do. It is a quality of being. Yes. Grace and sync of the Trinity, mind, body, spirit, emotion and heart acting in total harmony. I would say intention and heart more than emotion and heart. What do you think?
I like what he said. I like the reflection that he offered. It was a very very
beautiful.
sane reflection compared to compared to what we the rest of what we've heard. But yeah.
Yes. I love that. Love is a quality of being. It's not something that gets quantified, although we certainly know of its absence. We know when we feel a lack of love. We know when we feel a lack of respect, a lack of trust, a lack of faith, a lack of appreciation. All of those things are required for love to be in our being. We are made whole and complete as we already are. But through life, each of us has picked up habits and patterns where we used to deny things, aspects of ourselves. And that's where that shadow comes in. When we start denying our authentic, I won't say design, patterns, our authentic potentiality. How about that? If we start denying our authentic potential, we start reimagining ourselves from what we were created for. Holy cows, man. I don't know. Here, what are you guys feeling? How are you feeling regarding conversations and such? I was going to step away for just a moment if you want, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we can go. We can carry on.
All right, cool.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, I gave Tommy a visit today because he was
yeah?
on early, and now I'm here with Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Noelle, how you doing? You always chewing on a straw. You know,
Yeah.
what's the deal?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
the plastic straws. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
fine. I used to do that too. You know, I have
You used to
I
do
have a
that too,
similar.
like when?
Yeah,
Like how?
I had the pens.
Yeah.
You know, like the back of a
And
pen. You know, always be
yeah.
chewed up. Yeah, just chew on some plastic. Yeah,
Why? Because are you nervous or?
I don't know. Just drawing a lot, chewing on the backs of pens. You know, I think it's because I study a lot. I read a lot. You know, so yeah, I
He's a
get
big
repetitive.
nerd.
Yeah, yeah, I get into this nerdy stuff. You know, so I
Mhm.
get ticks whenever I'm studying. I get ticks. You know,
What
So
does
yeah,
those?
like little things you do over and over. You know, like
Yeah.
repetitive activity. You know, or listening to things, or if you're bored, you know, you don't notice yourself doing shit. A lot of times I'll lose shit and it'll be in my hand. Has that ever happened to you guys? Like I'll be looking around for something and it'll be like in my hand.
Yes.
No, not for me.
Yeah, yeah. I get like psychosomatic detachment where I won't know, like I won't remember that I'm holding something. You know what I mean? Right? Like I get like some weird. I'll be
Hank.
like looking. Yeah.
Hank.
Yes,
You were in some other like Alive with Me.
yes.
What is
I
like?
know how to solve your dry skin problem. I think it was the limit Tommy you had the dry skin problem you're talking about. Try water-based lubricant rather than oil. That way it actually gets in your skin and melts a
Where's
bit.
Jack?
Say again. Jack's out. He'll be back. Don't worry about Jack. He'll be back. He's fine.
Yeah, he stepped away for a second.
Yep.
This talk is really good for me.
Yep. It's been good for me too.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, blessings. You know what I mean. I'm glad. How's everybody doing for you, Noelle? Is your father doing okay now? You know, you said he was
Yes.
sick earlier. Yeah, prayers for
Yeah.
your father.
Yes,
Yeah,
his cancer is doing a lot better. Yes.
that's good to hear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, my dad has a similar type of a sickness. You know,
Which one?
he's got a lung disease. You know, autoimmune. You know, it's kind of runs in the family. It's like a COPD, but it's a little bit different. And you know, he has trouble breathing sometimes. So yeah, I get nervous about my dad and his health as well. You know.
You know, those family health issues, those can be a storm. It can be kind of a scary time when people we care about are facing challenges and we feel helpless. It's a tough feeling. I know that feeling of feeling helpless. The key I found for myself, though, is reminding myself all I can do is what I can do. I can accept what I can accept what I cannot, and then I can try to do more. But there's a lot of things that are just simply outside of our control. Such as tomorrow. We never know what the day is going to bring. We never know what the future might show. And if we're honest, we never truly know the results of what our activity is, our intentions, and our desires. We may think things through the best, spend all sorts of time figuring out, imagining all the different perspectives, all the potential details. And then in the execution, man, anything can happen. I was reminded of that just a simple occurrence. I went out and got some yard work done today, and I've got one of those battery-powered mowers. And, I was almost done, and the battery stopped. So I was like, well, I had good intentions, had it all planned out, should have worked, but the equipment failed. What are you going to do? You don't control that, but
you just got, again, when it's good cutting. I actually had to stop a cut because some rain got me. So. But yeah, I had to get better with execution. I need to get better doing stuff. With it. Pretty much, I have a hard time getting started with stuff. Once I'm going, I could probably get it all the way done if it's valuable to me. Otherwise, it's how I'm starting. So I actually have a new mantra I came up with today. I prepared Cynthia's mantra. So she says, "Don't sacrifice perfection for productivity," and I have it the opposite way. Don't sacrifice productivity for perfection, because I used to have a problem with trying to put too much effort into something that didn't matter that much.
Hank, I love that awareness. That is a great lesson I myself had to learn too. Once I do something, once I get started, I'm good at getting things done, but getting that self-initiative to get the momentum started. And then, Hank, I came to that same realization. I was talking myself out of doing a lot of things because I placed these unachievable standards for myself. I expected perfection. And then anything I was doing, I was making it so difficult for myself. I love that.
Yeah, one thing I had to realize that even I have to stuff, I'm doing like twice as good as someone who puts all their effort into something. So I shouldn't have to try so hard.
That too, Hank. I love it. I love it. And it does. And I love that. One of the lessons I took for myself is I can't improve on anything I don't start. Right? So even if I don't know what I'm doing, if I go out clumsily, I'm going to learn and I'll be able to improve. As long as it's something worthy of being done, we got to get it done, even if we don't have all the plans or all the answers. And I love that, Hank. Productivity over perfection.
Yes. Pretty much, we have different problems in mainstream society, so we have to make adjustments.
That's it. Yeah, the quality, once we actually do it, the quality's there, Yeah. And I honestly think many people, I don't know, everyone's on their own path and we all have our own challenges and skills. But life is actually pretty cool when we stop worrying so much life is pretty damn cool. There's a lot to appreciate. And it's hard to appreciate life when we're already filled with conclusions. When we think we know the future, we think we know it all. Man, I know nothing. And I'm comfortable with that. I only know that which I do and that which I say. And actually, I discover what I do and what I say each day. Life is a gift. Brothers and sisters, Machine Lies, please go ahead, man. You got something.
Well, it was it's a little more abstract, but I mean, I was gonna say that we seldom think about the task instead of the goal, and I remember I was telling you about that earlier. When I was saying that we get caught up in that a rule of experts can create specialized means, and then that leads to compensatory mechanisms. And the more we dwell on those compensatory mechanisms instead of the means that were used to produce them, we get lost in the technique instead of what the function is there for. And we then the more we think that techniques are defined, there's no way to grow and change our methods. So if we focus on the task instead of the goal, we can focus on improving our methods, instead of just focusing on set up methods that are going to lead to an innate functionality, because functions are about growth. They're about activity, on the sense of they're on the side of activity instead of just pure static thoughts, and the material, which is static.
I love that. Function and technique, creating the activity. And this world, you're right, we're so focused on the goal, focused on the result. Those are important for picking the direction, picking the effort, picking yeah. But truly, it is the journey. And as you're saying that, I was applying it to my own memory banks, right? I was focused on a paycheck. I sold my time, my mind, my life energy to a boss, to an employer. They told me what to do. Although admittedly, once I learned the techniques of others, I would use that and then make my own way of doing things. Right? And I think that's what you were talking about as well. That's what we're here to do, is to do things others have done, but do them authentically as you. Learn from others, help them learn from you, right? Can you imagine if we had a world filled with 8 billion people helping each other? Holy shit. I don't think it'll be 8 billion. I heard the population's already dropping. Any idea where we're at now? I haven't heard any statistics for a while.
Still at 8 billion or so.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
This world we live in, man. It's crazy. Paulie's trifold stomach. It's about love, man. It is about love. Love is. Many people feel unsafe. Many people have these wirings within themselves to feel unsafe. Those are patterns. Those are habits that can be broken. And I don't mean to bring you up, Grace, but we've talked. and I understand what it means to feel unsafe a lot. I did that for a long time, so I do understand that. But what I do know, once we realize these things, we can start to change them. Like Hank gave a wonderful testimony. He noticed something about himself, and he says, "Hey, I can change this," and redefine, taking the ideas from others, redefining our own rules, so that we can overcome the things that have limit us in the past.
Yeah, essentially, nobody is not afraid. You know, if you're not afraid, then you're probably mentally ill, you know, to some extent. But the point is that how do you use your own fear and confusion and your own ignorance in order to guide yourself to your true purpose? You know, and that comes with a greater understanding of what we're here for. Now, when one combines fear and awareness of what is going on, and then the courage to face those obstacles, one finds a sort of vigilance which is necessary, because if we were all afraid and immobile, then then we would all be unsafe, because nobody would be courageous enough to stand up to the evil in this world. But the fact is that we do have courageous people around, you know, so keeping us safe. So we need to be courageous and vigilant and realize our fear with the sort of awareness that comes with it, and then try to transcend that in any small way that we can in order to serve the greater aims of humanity.
Yes. That ability to find the courage, find the confidence to push past the fears. And I love that, having the not just the fear may be, but the key is to check your awareness, because we want the details. If we're going to have the fear, well, fear does not have to control us. It may be there, but the practice, that the key is to still the mind, even when there is fear, to pause, check into the heart, because the heart will lead the answers, and the answer might be scary, and that's where the confidence and the courage comes in, is to be able to know that the scary answer might be the way through. And I think people shy away from the scary answers. God, that's exactly what I used to do. Shying away from the scary answers is what, ooh. It's what has our nations warring with each other. The failure to accept the scary answer, because the scary answer usually means we might be wrong. But rather than accept that we might be wrong, people are so quick to fight, right? Go to war. And it's all because of egoic thoughts, insecurities.
Yeah, the war's a cover up with them making a mistake.
Yep.
They're just in their loop. They don't want to leave it, so they'll throw other people in the loop to distract from it. It's funny if you look at it.
It's such a big problem in our world, though. We can't deny this. I don't know. You know what? I'm saying we can't. I can't deny the corruption in the government, the corruption in the banking system. I can't deny that anymore. I can't deny that the American government is wrong for impeding the prior movements to try and get a ceasefire in Palestine. I mean, the United States government is making a lot of foolish choices. So I trust in God. I trust that this is God's plan for us all, but I know we get to choose a lot. We have the free will. We get to decide. We get to decide how we feel and which activities we choose to pursue. Those are the choices that create our lives. How do I feel and which activities do I want me to move with? I don't know. Hey, I'm feeling like maybe it's time. Time to wrap up?
Sure, I don't see a problem with that.
Thank you, Hank. I love you, man. I do. I have so much love for you, for all of you who have been a part of this, particularly helping support me on the panel like this. And some days this is the only conversations I get. So I truly do appreciate all who gather, all who may tune in, and especially those who have been friendly towards me and supportive like you guys. But Hank, Noelle, I'm gonna give Machine Lies the last words from you guys.
I'm
Bless you.
good.
Thank you, brother. Much love. Noelle, you want to say anything on your way out? I'm going to go ahead and drop you to the back, my friend. And thank you, Noelle. I appreciate you joining, okay? Blessings to you. We're going to wrap up. Brother, Machine Lies, thank you.
Yeah, I got a nice little thing to read for everyone. You know, it's just a very short thing. You know, from 26 and 27 of the Tao Te Ching, it says, "The heavy is the root of the light." You know, in terms of for example, like a roots of a plant, you know, that grows deep, you know, that the roots are heavy, but the plant is you know, it could be flimsy, it could be like a flower, but it stays upright because it has a strong root, right? So heavy is the root of the light. The still is the master of unrest. The still is the master of movement. Therefore the wise traveling all day, you know, you know, it says you know, I guess you know, constant departures without arriving. You know what I mean, right? To quote a movie, you know, remain in a constant state of departure. You know what I mean? It says, do not lose sight of their baggage, though there are beautiful things to be seen. You know, they remain unattached and calm. Why should the Lord of 10,000 chariots act lightly in public? To be light is to lose our root. To be restless is to lose control. Then he says, a good walker leaves no tracks. A good speaker makes no slips. A good reckoner needs no tally. A good door needs no lock, yet no one can open it. Good binding requires no knots, yet no one can loosen it. Therefore, the wise take care of everyone and abandon no one. They take care of all things and abandon nothing. This is called following the light. What is a good person? The teacher of a bad person. What is a bad person? A good person's charge. If the teacher is not respected and the student not cared for, confusion will arise, however clever one is. This is the crux of the mystery. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a blessed night.
I love that, my brother. Thank you. We've been facing a lot of that. Here, let's talk, if you will. The wise are here to care for the others. The student, if the student is not cared for and the student has no respect for the teacher, we have chaos. You notice the amount of chaos we share? I mean, I'm not placing myself up as anything special, but I know the wisdom I'm trying to share. These were life-changing experiences. And brother, I see you. I believe we are, you, me, and there's many, many, many of us alive today. God is creating some wise men and women, and I see a lot of wise men and women rising to more public places, even though we may be relatively small in this medium at this point. I see many wise men and women rising up to take the role of shepherd, to care for some of the confused and the lost here in this world. And brother, I appreciate having you at my side. Hey, I'm going to wrap up unless you got, please feel free to respond.
Yeah, I just wanted to say briefly that we must carry the past, with strength and knowledge, and push forward, instead of being pulled in by a future that's unknown. That is a mystery that we can't trust in the future that's unknown, but we can carry the past that we have into the future. If we're wise, if we maintain our wisdom,
Brother, yes, but yes, but the wisdom certainly comes from the past. No denying that. Okay. But I see so many people carrying the past forward into the future, and their past is like this big fucking heavy burden. It's not the light of wisdom, it's the heaviness of regret and shame. So what I've been training myself to do, well, a long time ago, I devoted myself, I want to know more about God and this creation and the laws and rules of life. And the more I thought about it, it's God that reveals our future. It's God that revealed our past. We participated in the past, and I was asleep most of my life. Somehow I made it. I was subconscious and intoxicated for so many years. It's only God's grace that carried me through. Here's the point. You mentioned about not being able to trust the future. It's dark. It's unknown. It's a mystery. To me, God is the unknown. I seek to know the unknown. I have faith and trust in what I do not know as well as what I do. Faith in the future. That's what I'm trying to impart. I believe we have amazing things in line for our future, brother. I really do. So, anything else, man?
No, thank you so much, brother Jack. Blessings. It's always a pleasure being here. Blessings. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine. And thank you again. Machine Lies, Hank, Noelle, even Lanza. Thank you. Thank you for joining the panel. Brothers and sisters, those of you who tuned in, I hope you received some gems, we shared a lot of different perspectives, and hearing different perspectives on some of the same topics, I find a lot of value in that. I mean, that's where our knowledge grows, is through the perspectives and the wisdom, the gifts of others. Brothers and sisters, today the idea, really the message I stand for. Let's stop making war. Let's heal the wars, heal the conflicts from within. Let's bring some reconciliation. Reconcile the memories, reconcile the denial, reconcile the light and the dark together. Become whole with you in the present moment. Become the peace in the storm. And there's a storm out there. There's a storm in the world. There's a darkness that's been brewing. And if it's carried around with you, it's time to put the storms down. It's time to find peace in your heart, in the present, with the knowing that there's no separation from you and the creation. There's no separation from you and this moment in time. And at this moment in time, there is a peace that's available. It's found within the silence that's behind the noise. It's found within the stillness of your innermost being, in your innermost knowing. The knower within you has the power and the stillness and the love. The answers are in your heart. The truth, it's there with us all the time. To find the peace in the storm, align yourself with the truth. You'll have the confidence to allow yourself to love in greater ways. And if you love in greater ways, brothers and sisters, this world is quickly going to turn. It won't just be you, but it'll be all those who receive the love that you carry and you share. It spreads. And I see this world is transforming, and I do intend to be a part of it. So, brothers and sisters, thank you again, all who tuned in. If it's live or in the future, thank you. And please check in tomorrow. We'll see what happens in the future. And I expect we may be back again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.